Today, we're going to make a Depression era candy. Um, this is something I used to make for the holidays every year because my former father in law really enjoyed it. And it also was a really good way to reduce food waste. So, it's from this Boston Cooking School cookbook from 1937. The recipe I chose is because I actually need this for an ingredient for another recipe I'll be doing later. So this is a candied orange peel, and um, it has the option for using dipped in chocolate, but because I'm making this for another recipe, I'm not going to dip it in chocolate. But I think I'm going to try that later as we get closer to the holidays. Um, it also recommends 2 tablespoons of corn syrup, and we're going to skip that too because it says if a drier product is desired, omit the corn syrup. By the way, do you see how they used to spell syrup? The SIRUP. Also, when you start seeing cookie, it's like KOOKIE. You don't see a lot of cookie recipes prior to, or I don't see a lot of cookie recipes prior to World War II in my older cookbooks. It's like cakes and puddings and aspics, like weird gelatin things, and candies. But this one, the candied orange peel actually reminds me of these gummy orange wedges that my grandmother used to love. So let's get to making some candy.
So first of all, so sorry about the camera. I was more focused on trying to cut into this orange peel than, well, the camera. But step one, of course, was to peel the oranges lengthwise. Anyway, I basically cut into the peel, quarter it, and then just pulled the quarters off. Pretty easy. We did 4 of them. Don't worry, no oranges were wasted. Between me and the kids, they were all 4 consumed. I think by this point, my son had already consumed one of them. And basically, you just put the orange peels in water or in a pan and add cold water and bring it up to a boil. I will say I've made this in the past, but it didn't have this step, the recipe I used to work from. I think I might like this because it does make them less bitter and thinner. So basically, you're just bringing this to a boil until the orange peel is tender. And then I kind of was messing with it to try to keep the orange peels from sticking together, as well as try to keep them mostly submerged in water during this process. I wasn't like constantly stirring, but just kind of plunging them down periodically. So I was also kind of testing them periodically to see if they were tender, kind of prodding them with a fork. What we're trying to go for is having that white pithy part soft. So at this point, we're scraping away the white pithy part to leave just the peel, or mostly the peel. I tore a few of them. Not a big deal because we're going to cut these up. But when I first started them, they were still very hot, so I was using the fork to kind of hold them. And then when they cooled off enough, I had used my hands to hold it while scraping. And then per the instructions, I cut these into strips just using scissors, because at this point these things are tender enough that cutting them with scissors was very easy. And I kind of did each quarter at a time. So this is all the peels from the 4 oranges after they've been cut. And at this point, you start to actually turn these into candy. To do that, you use 1 cup of sugar and a half a cup of water, and heat this up with the strips of orange peel in there and bring it to a boil. It's going to boil for quite a while. You're going to want to stir it pretty continuously because you don't want it all the stuff to kind of burn to your pan and stick together. So I just you want to get this up to 230. So you're probably going to get out a candy thermometer. I used a Meat Probe because that's what I had easily on hand. Now I've got a candy thermometer somewhere. I just don't know where it's at. This was the most time consuming part, is watching this and making sure it didn't overheat, but really still a pretty simple process. So once they reach the 230 degrees, I use some tongs to take them out and let them cool on this rack with a cookie sheet underneath, so that, well, I didn't have syrup everywhere. I did fail to get a recording of the next step, which was, I took a photograph, I think, instead. Basically, you take the orange peel, put it in a Ziploc bag with sugar, and toss it. And I did save the syrup, as you see. And you can see some of these where I've got them coated in the sugar on the left-hand side. And once they were all coated, I put them in a container for future use. They do make a very good holiday candy. I used to make these for my former father-in-law because they are gluten-free, obviously. They're also vegan, but he had celiac. So this was a nice little holiday treat we can make for him. And I think it was a little nostalgic for him as well. It's a very old-fashioned kind of candy. I did make it for a future recipe. I'm going to be making orange bread in a few days. And it's a World War II recipe that calls for the candied orange peel. So look for that video coming up. And if you're enjoying these, of course, please subscribe, hit that notification bell so you'll catch that orange bread recipe. I think it'll actually be a really nice holiday bread.